Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy, the recap. So we've been talking numbers a little bit in the last couple months. So exactly a month ago, we had Kyle Young, who talked about numbers and to lean into those numbers. And then this week, we had Andy Weins and Lynn Corazzi. I knew I'd get those wrong. And they are talking to us about stop avoiding your numbers. Same concept, right? Different books. But both of them are really about how data can turn things around for us and give us the answers we need to know the direction we need to head. That sounds simple. Simple does not mean easy. So most people avoid numbers, not because they say they're bad at math, right? But instead because those numbers feel finite, scary, something that they're not 100% sure they want to tackle. So this group, this pairing, really talk about using data to tell their story. That we have really powerful numbers that will tell us what we need to know about our next steps, about our current steps, about what we need to do to get to the desired results that we've set for ourselves. The one thing I really want to camp out on in what they had to say, because they really had some fabulous things to say. They talked about turning data into profit. They talked about making sure that you are focused on the facts and not just the feelings. But what they said is they keep it simple. They like to say, I am, I can, I feel, I know, I want, I will. I don't think that's just numbers related. As a matter of fact, I know it isn't. Let me say that one more time. I am, I can, I feel, I know, I want, I will. So this was really when we were talking, when I asked one of my rapid fire questions about how do you channel your best self on your worst days. But it's recognizing that language matters and that what we say to ourselves and what we believe to be true about what we can accomplish matters. Why do we think that we can't get what we want? Well, it's often because we tell ourselves we can't, or we spend a lot of time in the I have to. I have to go to this meeting. I have to go to this conference. I have to do this report. Or I get to. Right? I choose to. I want to. That's so different. Amy Kemp talked about that with us way back when, a couple months ago, actually, almost a year ago. And now we've got Andy and Lynn talking about that too. I think it's important that we lean into the I get to's, the I want to, I choose to space. And that's how we win. That's how we get to the point where we are getting the desired results, the desired outcomes that we have, and not just getting stuck in the, I guess, I will, whatever. And then the numbers part adds such a wonderful layer of, this is not a guessing game. So I got an Oura ring for Christmas, and I have been having so much fun tracking my sleep because I've always worn an Apple Watch. I've always tracked exercise and probably obsessively looked at, did I close my rings today and all that good stuff. But what I realize is more important is that we are using the data to change practice, right? So the sleep data is not something I've ever had, but I love nothing more than to wake up in the morning and be told, I know, ridiculous, that I got a good night's sleep. I know that I have, but it's that confirmation that the numbers are saying the same thing that my body's saying. Now, could you get in your own head and when you have a bad night's sleep, go off the rails and go, nope, I can't do anything today? Sure, but I don't do that. Instead, I look at it and go, I actually feel fine. I don't think he knows what it's talking about. And yet the numbers are telling a story. So when I'm trending in a positive direction, I really am more productive and I am more able to get things done. And knowing that is like affirmation, right? It's that, yes, you can, and you're going to. So I don't know if you're an Oura ring wearer or an Apple Watch wearer or a Garmin or whatever you might have that tells you a little bit more about how you're doing things. But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about numbers. How do you, obviously that's the personal side. Then the professional side would be your profit and loss and all of those statements. But we got to stop ignoring them. We have to start paying attention to them because if we keep ignoring them, they are going to bite us in the tail, right? So if my ring is telling me, get some sleep, get some sleep, get some sleep, and I don't, I am eventually going to crash, not because my ring told me I was going to, but because my body said, hey, you need sleep. So listen to your numbers. I don't know which numbers you're following or which ones you're hiding from, but I suggest you start to look and see how much better you can feel, both personally and professionally, when you pay attention to what the numbers are saying. I really appreciated Andy and Lynn and the way that they tackled this conversation. And if you go get their book, you will get that much more information and you maybe will stop avoiding the numbers. But today, I need you to think about what you're going to do differently because you've spent the last few minutes with me. It could be big, it could be small, but it needs to be something because otherwise it's just entertainment. And I don't really want to be just entertainment. You know, my father is an entertainer by trade, and he spent the biggest bulk of his life, somewhere around 60 years, entertaining people. And I love it. I love watching him. It is such a rush to get to see his talents on the stage. But I always told myself that I didn't want to just be entertaining because I have some of his traits. I can capture an audience with the best of them and I can be pretty fun. But I also want to teach people things at the same time because I believe that you can do both, that you can be entertained and learn at the exact same time. That's kind of what I mean when I say bring fun into action. Find the two where the two meet because work and fun don't need to be mutually exclusive. And when they are, people walk away. So let's figure out a way today to make those two things meet, to take what we know to be true and turn it into something we can do, and figure out a way today to turn fun into action.